going to be talking about teaching your child how to make requests. And in the behavior analytic world, requests are called mands, like demands. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to go through the who, what, where, when, and why of mands or requests. So what is a mand? A mand is a request, and I think of mand as, again, demand. And it's really one of the most important skills we teach kiddos. Our kids need to be able to communicate their wants and their needs. Nothing is more important than them being able to let us know what they need. Another reason we teach mands first and right away is because there's inherent motivation. You want what you're asking for. So we don't have to contrive situations where kids are motivated. We don't have to, create situations or use any other reward or reinforcement other than the item or the activity itself. You want a cookie, there's motivation there. You ask for it, you get the cookie. You don't need to get a toy when you ask for cookie because you're getting the thing that you specified in the demand or the request. All of our kids in our current ABA program use a host of different ways to ask for things. Some of our students speak in full sentences and use full sentence frames to request things. Others just use a word or a phrase, are echoing us, or using some kind of AAC device or sign. Again, there's a very clear A-B relationship with a mand or a request. You see the item or you have a desire to get an item or activity, and then that direct relationship is there. I ask for it, I receive it. Why are mands important? It's the first communicative response that any child makes at any time. It's really the most important skill, as we discussed. It's a start of a social behavior because it involves attending, approaching another person, and using some sort of verbal or gestural behavior. Again, it's this really clear linear relationship. We want it, we have a need for it, we say it, we get it. Mands or requests are, again, the building blocks of language. They open the door for students to use language to change the world around them. That's why we all talk, to change and maintain relationships and manipulate the world around us. So learning that it's a lot easier to ask for a cookie than to climb up on the counter, move over a chair, open the cookie jar, and take one out. It's a little bit more adaptive when we can use language to influence the behavior of another person. So all of our students in our program work on mands, even students that are fully verbal and can ask for things in sentences. We work on mands because it's really important to be able to specify and describe what you want and need. So they're all different levels, right? We have students who are just learning to see an item and point to the one they want. We have students using sign for different items in their environment. We have students using PECs or pictures or a picture exchange communication system to exchange a picture of an item or activity they want for the actual item. We have students using communication devices such as the iPad you see on the screen. We have students working on echoing. So I'm just teaching them the word for car, and they're echoing what I say to request what they want. We have students requesting things using one word by themselves. We have kids using textual prompts to read mands. We have students asking for things in view, out of view, and also using descriptors. I want the big red car. I want the little green ball, specifying things even in more detail to get the desired item. I would urge you as parents to ask your teacher about your student's mand or request level and how they can work on it and which ones they have mastered before you start to teach this to your child. So when do we want to teach mands? We want to make sure that this occurs naturally. So it's not punishing to use our language and to use our verbal skills to get things we want. Withhold items throughout the day. So we shouldn't just work on this once. We should work on it or can work on it throughout the day. And again, don't withhold everything your child wants, right? So don't make them ask for every piece of cereal they're eating. Don't make them ask for every block when they're building a tower. We would like probably a 1-to-3 ratio. So we have them ask for it once and then give around 3 of those blocks for free, and then start over, just so it's not so taxing or difficult. Remember, our kiddos are learning new, tough language skills, so we don't want to frustrate them. Another way to teach Mands is running a Mand session, which could be 5 to 10 minutes. This could be during a period of playtime or table time. Another great time would be during snack time or when a video is playing. And during those 5 to 10-minute sessions, periodically, you're just going to hold something up that the child wants and have them ask for it using the Mand level specified by your child's teacher. While playing a video or engaging in reciprocal play, you can work on more, play, go, stop, some of those other vocabulary words to facilitate, again, that A-B relationship. Want it, ask for it, get it. So how do we teach Mands? How do we teach kids and practice requesting? We make sure that we have highly preferred items or activities that the student will be motivated to ask for. We'll sit with the student at a table or in a play area, and again, have many items that the student enjoys. You will present the item and wait for the student to request based on their level, and then prompt them to do it. So this may be pointing, this might be asking for the item in a full sentence. Again, it depends on your child's level at this point. Once the student emits the demand, so if we're asking for, let's say, in this picture, I think the student is asking for a marker. If we're asking for a marker, when the student says, oh, can I have the marker, or points to it appropriately, we're delivering the item and letting them know, like, oh, wow, that is great asking for that item. Thanks. But really, again, that reinforcer is almost intrinsic because the student has a want for it. And you'll know that based on them pointing to it, looking at it, gesturing towards it, or sometimes even asking for it, maybe using one word, and we're working on asking for it in a sentence. Make sure this is natural. You follow the student's interests and model language for new items. So again, it's really important to ask your teacher. Some of our newly verbal kiddos are working on maybe saying simple one-syllable words or phrases, and they want to do that independently, but they don't know the name for everything. So if you're having students ask for things that are new to them, you want to make sure that you're saying it and providing a lot of models. So if I have a student asking for, they've mastered asking for car, but now they're really interested in this bus, to model how to ask for it, I might say, like, oh, bus, 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 as they're reaching for it and giving it to them. You don't want to make asking not fun anymore. Just again, remember that 3-to-1 rule. Balance how often you give things, and give some things for free without having the repetition of asking. You want to work on requesting a lot and multiple times a day, but you don't want to have students do it for every single thing that they need to get. So don't forget to email your teacher to figure out your child's Mand or request level and the words that they know as Mands, and let us know if there's any other way we can support you during this time. Thanks, everybody.